Well, hello everybody. Good morning. I don't know if it's morning when you'll watch this, or even if you'll watch this now that the live shows have ended. We do get an archive release here, though, this time, and it's a dandy, like always. Going back to Sacramento, 1996, at the Arco Arena, the one and only time they played there. I still have some questions about the 15,500 fans. One guy says he was there, and that was not the case. I believe him. I don't know what's going on here on Phish.com. I don't want to call them a bunch of liars, but I think I just did. So let's get to the opener. It was Runaway Jim, and then Punch You in the Eye followed that. So really, we got two openers. I feel like both of those would fall under the category as great openers, and the ending of Punch You in the Eye was interesting and unique for that song. We got This Is Where Fishman had like a James Brown thing going on throughout the night for some reason. Just some James Brown vocals, just some antics, as they put it on .net. Then we got All Things Reconsidered, one that they just never, ever play anymore. I think officially retired. Bouncing Around the Room followed that. A little bit of a trend here in the first set. It felt like everything was in pairs. Jim and Punch You in the Eye kind of felt like a pair. And then again, All Things Reconsidered and Bouncing, kind of like maybe they're singles. Then we get into Stash and Fluffhead, both, got into more Trey's complex writing from the early days. Fluffhead probably won this battle, probably won the entire first set, and it was a really good, sharp Fluffhead. And the Stash didn't really include this big, crazy jam like we get now. It was just kind of a good, ready-to-go Stash, as it's supposed to be played. And then, Fluffhead was, Page kind of changed the tempo a little bit there. Maybe not the tempo, but just kind of the mood of it. Like, we felt like we had just sort of a normal, good Fluffhead going along, like we did with Stash. Page comes in with a sound to mix it up a little bit. Everybody gets a little more involved then. Mike, too. It's just sounding so clear every time they release one of these two. We just listened to these live shows from New Year's Eve, and not once was I ever like, oh, this sounds bad. I don't like this. I can't hear Mike. Occasionally I can't hear Mike, all right? But, boy, not the case from this mix. Man, just always sounds outstanding. It's just like, you can't even really tell, like who's the featured band member here, because they're just all perfectly mixed in, sounding so good. Of course, that's kind of what the band's all about, I suppose. While Trey is the guitar hero, he's not always the star. It's kind of a band. I mean, they got their name from the drummer. All right, so let's get past this Fluffhead. Now we get another combo with Old Home Place and Uncle Pen. Got our first sit-in of the night, a guest from John McEuen, banjo player. Of course, that made, a little uppity on those songs. Picking up, uppity, that was a weird word to choose. Picking up the pace a little bit here, Not that Fluffhead was some slow jam or anything, but a change of pace is what I'm trying to say. And then we got another, and that was nice. I like the occasional brief sit-ins. I'm not looking for a whole set. I'm not looking for it every night. We're there to see this band. But the occasional sit-in's perfect. And tonight we got two of them. Got another one in the second set. Got a banjo in the first set, a second set with a saxophone. All right. I liked it. Just a few songs each set. It was nearly perfect. And then we end with Prince Caspian and Chalk Dust Torture. Chalk Dust Torture, a rousing way to end the set. Prince Caspian, always going to be good, basically. So the first set, really, no duds. Maybe your down moment would have been All Things Reconsidered, but little did you know they would only play that one more time. And here we are in 2024 now, and they're still kicking. So overall, a real strong first set, highlighted with the Fluffhead, Stash not far behind, and then looking back now, all these years later, the All Things Reconsidered, really. And a great start, great finish to the set. Well, now let's get to the second set, and a sit-in, really. I don't know why it took them so long to release this thing. So we get the LaGrange second set opener. Okay, not one of my favorite covers, but all right, it works out. Then It's Ice, again, kind of like the Fluffhead, just going along like it's going to be a, normal It's Ice, well played, good, everything's all right. And then it gets a little weird, the open spot there where Trey can improvise if he wants, Page, whoever. Trey takes it here, but it's not too great. It doesn't go on too long. I wouldn't say this was a great It's Ice. Then Glide and Brother, Contact. This is where we got a row of songs where I was like, boy, I really miss these. We get Axilla 2 all the time. We still get Funky Bitch, which we get later. But as the arsenal has grown bigger and they get more and more songs, Glide, Brother, Contact, we just don't get them a whole lot anymore. And they're not going to hog up a whole lot of your set. We could sneak in a Glide and a Contact more often. you know. And then 2001, more Phish James Brown antics on this one. A lot of vocals, you know, wow, hit me now, wow, wow, just a lot of that. Not really saying anything, but recognizable as James Brown. John James Brown Fishman. And it felt really funky. You know, this was on the heels a month after they had covered the Talking Heads on Halloween. They probably spent, you know, a lot of time working on that album, and then it bled into the band, as Professor Joe LaRocca likes to often say. And he's right. He doesn't say it that often. All right, his channel's not about Phish. Then we get into the timbre and taste and funky bitch. A few songs here with Peter Apfelbaum. I think it's Apfelbaum. There's an F in there. It's spelled odd, but I'm going with Apfelbaum, I think. So, and it felt great, too. Fit nicely. The timbre, man, just went crazy. It felt like a big, powerful, explosive jam in the timbre. Even got like a little maze feel from Page in there somewhere in that timbre jam. And then the taste had a different, unique intro. And the taste was really good. Almost felt like, I think I said this in the preview, that it almost had like a Dave Matthews Band feel to it. And then Funky Bitch, you know, with or without the sax. I'm just not a big fan of that one. You know, you can see LaGrange and Funky Bitch, not my favorites. You know, that type of just kind of bluesy, funky, you know, fishy rock. I don't know. I'm not into it. I mean, I could dig some Mike vocals, though, I'll say. I do like some Mike stuff. I really like the more modern Mike stuff, for sure. And then we end it with Amazing Grace, a cappella, and then everybody comes out, all the guests throughout the night. We get an Amazing Grace jam, and then we get a Possum encore. So, while we had some big moments in the second set, the 2001 and Timber, probably going to be on repeat for a few days here. Very re-listenable. And, yeah, Fluffhead, very good, also in the first set. So, overall, it was a really good show. Just, you know, I don't know. I didn't really care for the Funky Bitch, Amazing Grace, Possum ending. You know, they always do this to us. But why not? Hey, they've had a great night. They take their bow, they end it with whatever. You know, on this night, it was an a cappella, a group sit-in jam, and a Possum. And we have went on 7 minutes for a show that happened in 1996. This is way too long. Boom, we are out of here. Thank you for watching if you watch the off-season stuff. Yay. We'll be back in February with more live Phish shows. Live from Mexico. Well, I won't be live in Mexico. They will be. I'll be sitting here on my ass watching. Boom. And listening. Mostly watching, though, believe it or not, even though it's music. Sometimes I hit mute and just really focus on what they're wearing. How's their hair? Love you guys.